Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna check what are the new products that we should expect from Apple in 2024. So we already have one of their products, and that is Apple Vision Pro. It's still the talk of the town. People are making reviews, unboxings, like talking about, okay, what should you use this for, how to use it. Apple has their tips app which can help you if you don't know how to use this device or technically what to do with it. I tried to find some new hacks and tricks to share with you, but I guess people haven't used it enough. But I decided to check what are the other products we should expect. Of course, the iPhone is an annual thing. I did a similar video, I'm gonna pop it right here. But let's say it's already 2024, we see Apple in action, and people are wondering what else should we see. Let's say that some products might need an upgrade, others might get a new chip. We don't know. Is M4 coming? I highly doubt it, but you never know. So right now, let's get into the video. I will divide their products into categories, and the first one is iPads. So people suspect that there might be an iPad Pro M3. We already have the M2. People who use it, it's incredible, it's super powerful. They have added even a new feature called Apple Pencil Hover. So basically, before you click on an app, it kind of started popping up before you click it. I don't think that there is much of a purpose on this. You're gonna click on the app or you're not gonna click it. But imagine putting an M3 chip into this iPad. You're gonna make it super powerful and nothing like you have ever seen before. And some people might start using the 12.9 inch as a laptop instead of buying an M3 laptop. The other iPad which might happen is an iPad Air 12.9 inch. So they're expanding their iPad Air, not to have the regular size, but competing it with iPad Pro. Will it have M3 is the question. We don't know. This is something that Apple has to decide. We don't even know when to expect these iPads, probably in March or somewhere, but there's still a lot to debrief. And the last iPad that we should expect is the regular iPad 11th generation. We already had the 10th generation, which was a jump from the previous one. Well, maybe the slightly inconvenience is how you charge your Apple Pencil, because you still have to use your Apple Pencil for generation, and you have to use a dongle because they don't have the magnetic charging for the Apple Pencil second generation. And also many people might already have an older iPad and they want to use their Apple Pencil's first generation, so you have to buy a dongle, and people find this as inconvenience. But except for that, it's still a good device. It kind of looks like the iPad Air, like on hardware part, if you don't kind of look into it. And oh, it came to an Apple Pencil version. Okay then, so these are the three iPads which you would expect. Which one will have M3? Will it be only the iPad Pro, or maybe some of the others? Also, we never mentioned the iPad mini, but we're still waiting for an update. We waited last year, pre-last year. This thing hasn't been updated for 2 years already, so it's in a desperate update. Imagine iPad mini with M3 chip. This will be a very powerful little device. So which of these iPads will come in 2024? We're about to find out. The next updated device, which we might see coming in 2024 from Apple, is their Mac Mini. And it's rumored that it might have the M3 chipset. I already watched the reviews when the M2 came out, and people were more than glad testing this device, having it. Some people even purchased it for daily usage. And of course, if you want to use Mac Mini or Mac Studio, you need to have a display. So this is like the cheapest Mac you can get, but also you kind of need a display for it, so you kind of can add additional price to this. But people were more than impressed reviewing the M2, mostly because, first of all, it has their second gen app, and second, like the performance compared to the M1 was so much better. Like people were editing photos, videos, playing video games, and everything was really smooth. Like, of course, we have the studio display and the HDR display. And now I'm kind of curious, if Apple updates their Mac Mini, does this mean that they will have new displays or unupdated and better displays, like quality, like resolution, the display itself? Like, what will happen in this point? Like, honestly, from Apple you can expect everything, so I won't be surprised if they drop it. Like, I was surprised when they dropped the MacBook Pro M3, because literally the same year they already had one. But this is Apple, like you can expect everything from them. So I'm curious to know if they will update their Mac Mini. Last year at WWDC, Apple announced MacBook Air 15-inch with M2. So we had 13-inch, 14-inch, 16-inch MacBook. We didn't have a 15-inch one. So Apple decided, okay, let's put another MacBook here, and it was a huge success. People started comparing it to the MacBook Pro and said that it was so impressive that they didn't know what to recommend people anymore. Should you get the Air? Should you get the Pro? Of course, the Pro is better. That's why it's called MacBook Pro. It has more ports if we're talking about the hardware part. Software, of course, is better. Let's just say if you're doing a high intensive editing, or you just use more work and high intensive work, maybe I should say it like this, you might consider getting the Pro. Also, it can go up to 8 terabytes, while the Air has only 2, but this doesn't mean that MacBook Air is out of the game. If Apple announces their MacBook Air M3, I suspect that it might be at the WWDC again, or in one of their spring events. Usually they're dropping another iPhone with a different color, so I'm looking for this as well. But if they drop an M3 MacBook Air, the comparisons with the MacBook Pro will start, and people will still say it's so impressive that what should you recommend to people, the Air or the Pro? It really depends on exactly what you're doing with your laptop and what is your price point, because let's be honest, the MacBook Pros are more expensive considering to the Air, but this doesn't mean that Air is out of the game. And I will say that they became so close that even if you get a MacBook Air instead of a Pro, I don't think you'll be disappointed. My next category is one of my favorites, and that is the iPhone. So usually around the middle of September we are getting new iPhones, and this year will be the iPhone 16. I have already made videos about it, what it will look like. We still don't have many information, but we know that it will be a copy of the 15. So aka you have action button, it will be USB-C, you have the dynamic island, probably it will be titanium as well. Maybe they will upgrade the camera, change the battery life to be a little bit larger, add a few new accessories and stuff like this, and call it a day. But the most interesting part about the iPhones is the new iPhone SE. The last one was updated in 2024. There were many pictures, rumors that it might not look like the older iPhone SE anymore. You have no home button, it will be unlocked with Face ID, and it will look more like the iPhone 12 and all the iPhones after it. Like, these rounded edges will be changed now. It won't be that slippery, and it will be basically like a cheap knockoff of the iPhone 15. Of course, they will probably keep the single camera, because after all, this is more like a beginner phone, not like a pro phone, not one of the regulars. For people who, let's say, never had an iPhone, they want to try it. Also, it will be cheaper. This is why you have most limitations. You won't have that many camera options, video options when it comes to taking videos and pictures, but it's still a great phone, and we should see if this new features, first of all, will happen, and second of all, will change the price, because usually this was the cheapest iPhone that existed on the market. But you know, price changes, times are changing, devices changing, so we're gonna see what will happen with the next iPhone SE. Next is the Apple Watch, but this year will be very special for the Apple Watch because it's the 10th anniversary since the first Apple Watch was launched, and as they did it to the iPhone X, they might call the next Apple Watch Apple Watch X, as Apple expects to be an overhaul of the Apple Watch series. There will be design changes. Also, they're talking about magnetically changing the bands to make it more comfortable for people. Also, there will be updates to the health app and so much more changes they're planning to come just to celebrate this occasion. I'm looking forward for the reviews when these things come out. I was thinking about should I buy an Apple Watch or not, but I didn't find a purpose for me to do it because I track my steps with my iPhone when I go out. So I'm not a person who works out, goes to the gym and stuff like this. So technically didn't find a reason for myself to buy an Apple Watch, but who knows, maybe Apple will find another reason to convince me. And of course, we're talking about the Apple Watch Ultra. We will get the third generation, and what will be the differences between the second and the third generation? I think that the hardware, there will be minimalistic, maybe software that might do some updates, and of course we have the Apple Watch SE, which is a starter Apple Watch. Of course, it has the limitations specifically of the Ultra and of the regular Apple Watch, but it still does most of the functionalities which it's supposed to be doing. And since people are buying it, this means that it's a success. It's a starter Apple Watch, it's cheaper, and also it does the main functionalities which people expect a smartwatch to be doing. But I'm looking for the Apple Watch X to see if the rumors are true. Will there be so drastically changed and so lightweighted as they expect? We're about to find out. The last category is AirPods, and we're talking about AirPods Generation 4. They're expected to replace the second and the third generation. Also, now they will be USB-C charging, aka they're starting to look like the Pros a little bit. Also, they will have the AirPods Pro inspired design, just with shorter stems, and also I think that they won't have the changing ear tips like the Pro have. Another key feature that they might have is the active noise cancellation, which is the first one to be in a non-Pro AirPods. They're already doing impressive things, and another thing that they're including is MagSafe charging and Find My speakers, which is also already impressive. So basically they're trying to take what they have in the Pro AirPods, including it into a non-Pro limited version and for a cheaper price. People were asking if there will be an updated AirPods Max. Nothing is known about this. Like, I personally expect them, so maybe the first ones will get down to the price, because people still find it really expensive to pay $549 for just some headphones. Yes, they are AirPods Max, but honestly, even though they have cool features, I still think that this is way too expensive for a pair of headphones comparing to the other brands which can offer you the same features just for a cheaper price. So I'm expecting that when they update it and there will be AirPods Max second generation, they will be cheaper, which means that the first generation will be already even cheaper and people might rush to buy it. So hopefully Apple will rethink their price point, and we're looking forward to see what Apple AirPods will get updated this year. Okay guys, that will be the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below for which Apple update you are most excited for. Personally, of course, I'm excited for the iPhone, but I would like to see what they will do with their AirPods, and also because I don't have ones. I was considering getting, but my biggest fear is that I'm gonna lose them. Of course, I can use my iPhone to find them, but let's just say I live in a country where if you find something, it's claimed as yours, and the people who will return it are not that much. Okay, the nicer people are not that much, and probably they won't return it. Even if I have a proof and show my phone, like, this is mine, like, I don't know what will happen, but my biggest fear is that I'm gonna lose them. Also, they're not cheaper AirPods, to be honest. And even though there are other similarities, like from different brands, they're very cheap knockoffs, I still kind of prefer the original, and I'm glad to see what they will do with the AirPods this year. But that will be the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed. Please smash that like button if you like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe to this channel. Turn on the bell so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. And I'm gonna see you next time. Bye!